Marriage stands as one of the greatest tests in a couple's life together. I'm not talking about a person who's personally going through areas. I'm talking about marriage is one of the greatest tests in our lives. Look, I've been married 40 plus years, and it has been a test. At times, marriage has been a trial. At times, marriage has been a disappointment. And I don't mean to the point where some people give up. And I will say, not every divorce was a reason to divorce. It was because some people just gave up. And I've learned this in marriage, that if you can't withstand or can't stand firm in God in a relationship. Now, I'm not dealing with when there's abuse to the point where there's injury and there's life-threatening situations, or the person has just walked out and done their thing. I'm not talking about that. Usually, people like that are free. God is not expecting us to sit in something that's going to bring harm to our lives, that's going to bring emotional, mental, and physical destruction in us and cause us to be so hurt to the point where we may never recover. That's not what he's saying. But at the same time, he doesn't expect us to run out and just go and get someone else. He expects us to learn. And I want to say this, why I believe most marriages end, not all, most, beside what I said earlier, most marriages end because somebody or the both in the marriage eventually give up. Well, if they hadn't give up, you wouldn't have an end of a marriage. And there are many times we feel in our marriages, we just feel like just throwing in the towel and say, this is it. But the Bible is very specific. Marriage is a test. Marriage is an era we'll go through where both wills have to come together and both wills have to submit to God. And one of the first things we must understand, a marriage must be committed to God. I didn't say the marriage runs smooth the day you committed to God or in your commitment to the Lord. I'm saying the Lord will help us. The Lord will help us. Let me close with this. We are the body of Christ. So picture it this way. There's a head and there's a body. These are my hands. And these hands represent couples in a marriage. And what happened is, before they met, they were like this. And so what's happening is, I'm talking about two people are born again. As we become closer to the Lord, this is what's supposed to be happening in our marriage. We're supposed to be getting closer to each other, because the closeness of God brings the body of Christ together. And marriage is one of the greatest tests in the body of Christ when it comes to becoming together as one. Now, you see two hands, but it's one, moving together in unity, in order, and in right structure with God. That can only come by drawing closer to God, because we're the body, he's the head, and we must get the wisdom of God. So I encourage you, as you're going through your devotional, as you're going through that you begin to understand right now. Don't quit. You might have just kicked off. You might have just started. Don't give up. Let's focus and let's begin to press in, and let's begin to see the body of Christ come together in a relationship that God is drawing us. Not you, not me, not an outsider. God is bringing, there should be no other influence, but the Lord bringing his body together, husband and wife, as one in a marriage. Shalom in your marriage today. Peace.